Hey guys, welcome back to another video, another TheJanticJournal production. So what we're getting into today is this torque-a-verter. It's already all set now. You can see I got some fresh paint on there, but I did a little more than paint. Basically, I just was ready to go with the bike and then realized it had some issues. So stay tuned, we'll show you what I ran into and how we took care of them. Okay, so as I was getting ready for just to take my bike apart to do the paint, I noticed some issues with the torque-a-verter. This is an actual genuine Comet. I got it off a Whirlwind I bought a while ago, so I don't know how old it is, but it's definitely pretty old. So I just have a piece of 5/8 shaft in here, as you can see, and I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but there's a considerable amount of play right here, and that's not bearings. That's the this actual tube here with the bearings in it is just it's just pressed in, but it's totally loose, and there's a lot of play here. So and also I noticed after I took it off that this weld here is like it's like a weld, and then this is weld. It looks like originally maybe it broke or they had to shorten it, and it's a re-weld here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind that off, take this whole piece off, start fresh here, and punch the bearings out. Because I need to punch them out if I'm going to weld on this. I'm just going to cook them anyways, so I'll punch them out and probably buy new ones. Basically, I'll definitely buy new ones. And then I'm just going to weld, put some welder on the back of here, clean it up first, put some welder on there, and hopefully get it nice and square. And also all these prongs that hold the cover on, I know this one, you can see I welded it. It's really nasty weld, but I just welded it in place. However I could. This is a long time ago. So what I might do right now is I might take the time to put a little bead in the back of each one of these. There's just like a rivet here, so that's all that holds them in, and they loosen up, and then they wanna just wobble side to side, and you lose the tension to hold the cover on. So I think I'm gonna just put a bead on the back of all these while I have it off, clean it up real nice. Probably won't paint it, but maybe I will. We have the torque-a-verter clamped up in a vise right now. So what I'm going to do is just take a punch and a hammer. This one's going to be a little difficult because it feels like there's some kind of sleeve in between the bearings. So just give it a tap, and it seems like it's going. You know, side to side. Oh, it's going out easy. You don't want to make them too crooked. So this should be just a 5/8 inner and then 1 3/8 outer. That actually came out so smooth. I might just reuse it. I barely hit it at all. I was anticipating I'd have to hit it a lot harder. So I'm going to go ahead and spin it around and do the same thing for the other bearing. Alright, other side's out too. That one I had to hit a little harder. But yeah, this is actually a solid piece in here. They must have just had this huge chunk of like inch and inch and 3/4 or something, and just turned it on a lathe. That's a solid piece right there. So what's next is I'm going to grind this. I'm going to just cut it off maybe, and then just kind of grind it a little bit, because I really don't like that, and I'm just going to start fresh. I didn't realize it appears to be some kind of homemade fix. I thought it was actually from the factory, but who knows, maybe I did this years and years ago and forgot about it. Alright, so with the piece cut off now, I'm just going to go ahead and put the grinding wheel on the angle grinder and try to smooth that out a little bit. I'll just put some degreaser or something, clean the surfaces up, and yeah, get ready to put some welds on there. I'm not exactly sure why they wouldn't weld it from the factory. It's just like a press fitting, but I don't know, it just seems like it's not the strongest setup. And again, as I said earlier, these aren't even welded on. They're all just rivets. So maybe they had some quicker way to produce it or something, but yeah, I don't think it's going to work for us like that, especially since we're running built motors, you know, so we're already going to be exceeding the horsepower limit. All the old paint is cleaned off. The surface is really good. I just used the angle grinder with that pretty coarse wire wheel. So I cleaned all that off around here, You guys saw me grinding this flush. I also had some old weld in here. I ground that down, and then I just used the wire wheel again and just cleaned up all these surfaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give this a weld. I'll probably just go all the way around, might as well, and then I'll run a bead in each one of these as well. Okay, so we got the back plate bolted up to the motor for the torque converter. I welded on, you can't really see it now, but I'm sure you'll see it after. I welded on the back side of those tabs to keep them from jiggling out, because as I said before, they're just riveted on. And I also put a good bead around here to make sure everything's welded up nice and solid. So the next step I have to do, as you saw earlier, I ground off and cut and ground off the support arm that was on here. So I'm going to make a new one. I have this piece, I think it's from an old, I think it's a Craftsman, I think it's a Craftsman lawn tractor or something. This is some kind of steering arm. There's like a spline on there. But it's good 1/4" metal, and it actually already has a 3/8 hole in there, which is going to be perfect for me. So it's going to go something like that, where it's going to line up through that one back left motor bolt hole. And then I'm just going to cut it and weld it right here. It's actually pretty much totally parallel too. On some of them it seemed like it had to kick up, but I think because it's thicker, it's 1/4", it's going to be a straight shot, no bends or anything necessary. So I'll go ahead and make a mark, cut it, and then weld it on. Here we got the piece cut up. I did actually have to put a little bit of a bend in it. I'm not sure if you can even see it, but just a slight bend, just to get it pretty close to flush right here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and weld that on. As you can see, I have a bolt just holding it in location so I can get a good consistent weld. So yeah, weld that on, then take it out, clean it up, and throw some paint on it, and the torque-a-verter will be ready to go. Alright, got the piece all cleaned up. You can see those welds cleaned up pretty good. I just put the wire wheel around there. I wanted to take all the, all the scale and stuff off, because I just cleaned up the backside and I'm just going to spray it. Probably just go with some black. Here's that arm I welded on, 1/4" steel, and that hole was already in there, and it's kind of rounded. Looks like a nice actual finished product. So yeah, I'm ready to go ahead and paint it black and then reassemble it. Alright guys, that'll do it for this video. I went ahead and pushed the bearings in, just punched them in with a little punch and a hammer. You want to be careful not to hit the inner race, just stay on the outside of it. That shouldn't mess it up. Had to hit them pretty hard. I don't know if the welding distorted it a little, or maybe maybe I had a little bit of paint in there. But yeah, and then went ahead, slid the shaft for the driven unit through. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. It seems like it could be a little straighter. When it broke out, I thought I had it square, but looking at it, it might not be quite square. So the only way to know is going to be when I go ahead and ride it, hoping for the best. But yeah, so that'll do it for another video. Guys, go ahead and subscribe if you're liking the content. We're definitely coming out with more videos. We try to do like 1 to 2 a week. Maybe sometimes a little more, and then maybe sometimes once a week, but definitely at least once a week we'll be putting up new videos. So yeah, alright, catch you guys next time with the TheJanticJournal.